Welcome to World Class, the series that brings you the best of the very best. This time we are on safari in Botswana, Africa, where we will visit 3 very different camps run by Orient Express Safaris: Eagle Island, Zafuti, and Kwai River Lodge. The flight from Botswana's tourism capital, Maun, has taken just 25 minutes and has transported us into a wonderful world of wilderness to our first camp, Eagle Island. We will of course be staying under canvas, but these are no ordinary tents. Going on safari remains at the top of many people's travel wish list, although it's not generally noted for being the easiest of vacations. But staying in comfortable accommodations like this, mixed with the best wildlife that Africa has to offer, should guarantee some world-class experiences that will stay with you forever. These tents are of course fully air-conditioned, with 4-poster beds, crisp linen, mosquito nets, a fully stocked minibar, and ensuite bathrooms with his and her sinks. What more could you need? Apart from, of course, a heated plunge pool with views across the hippo-infested marshlands. The camp actually sits on the island of Kakaba and overlooks a lagoon fed by the delta itself. A great way to get really close to the nature in the lagoon is by Mokoro, where you can be propelled silently through the waters of the Okavango. Although beautifully scenic, great care has to be taken not to get too close to the hippos, who are actually very territorial and dangerous creatures, and don't take kindly to tourists invading their space. The lagoon is alive with creatures of all shapes and sizes, from small frogs to crocodiles, and wading birds to elephants. So while the guest's safety is always paramount, taking a ride in Mokoro remains a somewhat risky but unforgettable experience. Botswana-born Onks Manga is the group's senior guide and environmental manager. He loves his country, and so is always keen to share his enthusiasm and knowledge.
Botswana is the last wildlife paradise, and at times of the year, like this time of the year, November, December, Botswana is the best wildlife area in the whole of Africa. And you've got the Okavango Delta, you've got the Chobe, which has the largest population of elephants in the whole world, actually. We're talking about around 120,000 elephants. And the only zebra migration in the whole of Africa. And I think that's what makes it such an amazing place. I mean, the Okavango Delta is an ornithologist paradise. In that area alone, you pretty much find more than 100 different birds in one day. It's just an amazing place for bedding.
So if you're into birds, you'll love it here. The variety and color of these creatures is quite breathtaking. Hornbills look down on the large and ponderous saddle-billed storks, while spur-winged geese waddle under the watchful eyes of a brown snake eagle. This wading bird, a blacksmith lapwing, may lack in color, but Mother Nature has gone overboard with this bird, a lilac-breasted roller. Bird enthusiasts should pack a good guidebook of African birds, and of course, bring a very large tick book.
I mean, people come with very different reactions when they come on safari, and of course some people are terrified because they've never seen a lion before, and some people are just too excited because they're seeing a lion in the wild for the first time. But the most amazing thing is, or what I really find amazing from a lot of people is when they actually they can't believe they're really in Africa. They ask you, somebody pinch me please, I'm in Africa. And so that's probably the most amazing thing, the reaction that comes from people. Yeah.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen, all for free. No subscription required.
The game drives start very early, so during the day at camp, it's time for siesta. But for the energetic or restless, the activities are plentiful. Walking, swimming in the pool, or perhaps fishing for catfish and freshwater pike from land or boat are just some of the options.
Eagle Island is deep in the Okavango Delta. It's a very well-known water activity kind of camp, and but it's actually one of our special camps because you can do pretty much everything. You know, you can do mokoros, you can do boats, you can do walks, and you can also go on a helicopter and see the Okavango Delta from an eagle's point of view.
This is the only camp that offers this exciting way of viewing game. A 45-minute trip is included as part of the package when staying on Eagle Island. Our pilot today is Krent Garment.
The main difference with the helicopter and the game drives and the boats is it just gives you that extra dimension. You're above things, so you're not limited by the grass or the trees or the like, and you can see so much further, if you know what I mean. And this helicopter's got very good visibility, so you can get above things, you can just get an overall bird's eye view of what's going on rather than from the river or from the vehicle. With it not being a zoo or a game park out here, it is kind of quite like, but you do see a lot. On a normal trip, obviously a lot of the plains game animals, the impala, the lechwe, zebra, giraffe, elephants, hippos, crocodiles. A lot of days we get lucky, we see lions, leopards, the odd rhino every now and then, but if it's out there, we're probably going to see it. When people do climb on board the machine, they don't know what to expect, but once you sort of take off and get moving, and we give them a proper briefing, they realise it's very gentle, it's very smooth, and it's not quite what they expect, and most people come back with a big smile and just want to go again.
Of course, in true world-class style, a romantic picnic in the heart of the Botswana bush is the ultimate way to relax after the buzz and excitement of a doorless helicopter trip. Botswana is one of Africa's most economically successful countries, thanks in part to the discovery of some fairly hefty diamond reserves. But tourism plays a major role, and thankfully in recent years, Botswana's government has encouraged high-cost, low-impact tourism, which has helped to keep this habitat as natural as possible, while still giving the eco-tourist access to this unspoilt country. This does mean it's quite expensive to come here, but it's a small price to pay for this responsible attitude to tourism. Sadly, it's time to leave this lush green camp of Eagle Island, so named after these magnificent fish eagles. We are flying to new, hotter and drier conditions for our next camp, the Zafuti Elephant Camp in the Chobe National Park. The wonderful sound of an African chorus greets you at the arrival of every camp, as a choir of chefs, maids, gardeners, and guides sing soulful local chants of welcome. Perhaps these are the magical moments of Africa. Its people are undoubtedly the soul of this country, as reflected in their music. Memories of helicopters, plunge pools, and lovely rooms will soon be challenged by memories of these happy, earnest people who are simply intent on making your stay as enjoyable as possible.
Zafuti is a very specialized camp, I would say. It's a dryland camp, and it's based in one of the driest part of Botswana, which is southern Chobe. But as you come down south here in Zafuti, you get to the driest part of the Chobe National Park.
Here, the pools offer a grandstand view of a temporary man-made watering hole that seems here to stay.
A water hole in a place like Zafuti was originally meant to rescue the animals which were dying during the drying up of the Zafuti Channel. And so temporary water hole was set up because we thought that was going to be a very temporary situation. So we thought next season the river is going to be back, and the river never came back. And because you have set up a water hole already, you have to keep it going. I mean, if you sit in there at the swimming pool and watching that water hole all day, you will see very interesting behavior. In elephants, size matters a lot. You know, the bigger you are, you know, the better. And but the behavior changes completely when a female arrives. And in elephants' social structure, females rule. So the females would arrive, the males would have to move, and the females would walk in straight and drink. But if it is a young elephant coming in, they won't allow, male elephants won't allow a young elephant to drink.
The Chobe National Park covers 11,000 square kilometers. The Zafuti region itself covers almost half of that. The region is home to a huge range of wildlife, with big game, water dwellers, and bird life, all vying for your attention. So it's important to use your time wisely. Try not to fit too much in, otherwise you'll have no time to relax. After all, it is supposed to be a vacation. The trouble is, there is so much to learn. Fortunately, the guides know every detail on every animal. Our guide today is Moses.
You see that one at the back, the one with the dark color?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the male. And normally you can tell the difference of the male and the female by size. As you can see, that male is bigger than those females. Right. Yeah, and that dark color doesn't mean that is the male. The dark color just shows that it's an old giraffe.
Right.
Yeah, because even the female, when she gets old, she gets darker.
Yes, but why? Yeah. Surely then the lion would see the dark color.
Normally, what the lion will do, they'll just look at the size.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, because not one lion can get a big giraffe.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it needs maybe 4 big lions to get a giraffe, because they defend themselves very well. Yeah. They use both of their legs to kick. Right. All the 4 legs. Yeah. That is a secretary bed. It's a secretary bed. Normally those beds, they like open grassland. Normally what they do is they really like where there's no trees. Because they like hunting, they do eat snakes, I can say. They do eat snakes, yeah. Those long legs are adapted to walk in long grasses.
Reading through the guest comment book, you can't help but notice that many guests return year after year. Some have a favorite camp that they will save till last to visit. But interestingly, all seem intent on revisiting all three camps. Even though every camp is very different, it's not just the animals and environment that changes in each location. It's the staff and the guides too. They are all so friendly, it's always sad to leave.
If you go down to Kwai, you'll find a river, the Kwai River. So if you travel through all the three camps, you cover the whole of Botswana in just northern Botswana.
Another arrival and another African chorus, and a whole new set of friends to be. These chalet-like tents overlook the floodplains of the Kwai River itself. From here, you'll see buffalo, lion, leopard, cheetah, and hippo. The rooms here seem slightly more contemporary than at Eagle Island and Zafuti, and are every bit as elegant. There is, of course, another creature that's very easy to spot from the wooden balconies: elephant. Be warned, these big male bulls, along with hippos, tend to roam the camp after dark. So it's essential to always call a guide for assistance should you decide to leave your room for any reason. But the rooms are so beautiful, and the game viewing opportunities from the plunge pools are so good, that really one should question why you would want to leave the room in the first place. These luxury tents feature all the modern conveniences you'd expect in any five-star hotel. Thankfully, that's with the exception of a television. After all, you wouldn't have time to watch one here anyway. We have actually arrived during the rainy season, which is a good time to visit, as the temperatures here can be extreme during the day, but the showers in the evenings can take the edge off the heat. Ah, just in time for gin and tonics before the late evening game drive commences. Perfect.
Oh, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah.
In Botswana, the rain doesn't stop play. On the contrary, it is welcomed by all. In fact, you can sense the excitement of the animals who play and frolic in the refreshing coolness of these African showers. Water is essential here. It is the gift of life. In Botswana, pula means rain, but pula is also a greeting, as well as a blessing. Rain is so important to this country, the Botswana currency is also called the pula, or rain. These showers not only provide life-giving water, but will also clear the dust and humidity from the air. Tomorrow will bring a fresher, cleaner, and greener environment. Hippos yawn as if to mark the dawn of a brand new day. Sadly, it's our last day on safari, so we have to set out early to enjoy one of Africa's most magnificent beasts, the lion. Our guide and tracker is a man called Leopard, and within just 2 hours of following tracks and paw prints, we find ourselves face to face with these magnificent cats.
This is pride of 6, and this is the pride that we see in the area too often. But we still also see them on the other side of Kwai River. We got one male, young male, and the 3, one is the mother, and then one of the youngest, she's the one, the mother of the cub, which is behind the male now. And this cub used to be 2, but one of them is missing, and we don't know what happened to that. The father, we don't see the father, but there's 2 male that actually goes in between the prides that we have around, but we don't see them too often. They do sleep all day. The hunting takes place at night mainly, and later in the afternoon and early in the morning. So this time now, which is like 8:36, they just lazing, lying down. That's the end of the hunting.
So, does Botswana make our world-class grade? We think definitely. With luxury accommodations, stunning views, and wildlife, we hope you agree that these trips really are unique. It's time to say goodbye to Kwai River Lodge. Time for one last glance at the somewhat dangerous yet comical hippos, and just enough time for a relaxing 3-flight massage. If you want a vacation where you just lie on a beach for a week and switch off, then this is not for you. That said, these trips are well worth going the extra mile. You get the chance to experience local cuisines, customs, and wildlife, albeit from the comfort of a swimming pool, 4x4, or even a helicopter. Well, that's it for now from the world-class team. Be sure to join us next time as we endeavor to find the very best in luxury accommodations from around the world.
Welcome to World Class, the series that brings you the finest of luxury hotels in some of the greatest destinations our planet has to offer. This program is no exception as we visit one of the most exciting cities in the world, Rio in Brazil. Join us as we take a cable car up the famous Sugarloaf Mountain, visit the fun-filled beaches of Ipanema and Copacabana, and stay in luxury in a purpose-built palace of the same name. Those of you who like a thrill with your sightseeing are in for a real treat as we fly over 1,000 kilometers south to take a powerboat trip upriver and head straight for the powerful Iguazu Falls on the border of Argentina. We start this luxury extravaganza in Rio, home of the carnival, bossa nova, and samba. It's a wonderful city to behold, especially when viewed from the many vantage points that include the mountain Corcovado, and here at the Sugarloaf, made famous by James Bond in the late 70s when he fought Jaws atop a cable car. The view is amazing, even on cloudy days, as distant landscapes appear and disappear through the eerie mist. This is a tropical climate with ever-changing weather, so quite often a little patience pays off when waiting for that perfect picture. Back at sea level, and the historic Old Town in downtown is a delight to explore. Here you can feel the city's roots in its architecture. It was the Portuguese who named the city Rio de Janeiro, following an expedition in January 1502 when they mistakenly believed they had moored in a river mouth. Hence, the city's name is a direct translation of January River. Downtown, known locally as Centro, is the former residence of the Portuguese governors of Brazil. Today, it's the financial hub of the city, so it's busy and bustling, yet retains an old-world charm. One little gem to visit is the Confeitaria Colombo, a pastry emporium established in 1894. Its palatial decor makes it the perfect place for lunch and high tea. The word beach is synonymous with Rio. On weekends, the locals, or cariocas, flock to the beach in thousands. This is Ipanema, a magnet for young and old, wealthy and poor. Here, the cariocas, when wearing beachwear, seem to forget all classes, politics, and religions. It's a brilliant culture of fun and sun that's a joy to observe. A block from the beach is another cafe well worth a visit. Agorata de Ipanema, or The Girl from Ipanema, is where Vinicius de Moraes and Tom Jobim wrote that classic song after watching a pretty girl pass by daily on her way to the beach. If you haven't heard of Ipanema, you will certainly have heard of the Copa, or Copacabana, the most famous district of Rio. And in true world-class style, we have checked in to a palace of the same name. Designed by the French architect Joseph Gire, who was inspired by two hotels in southern France, the Negresco in Nice and this iconic hotel, the Carlton in Cannes. Gire was a great fan of Charles Dalmat, who built the Carlton in true palatial style in 1912. So when the Copacabana Palace opened its doors just 10 years later, in 1923, he had created a stucco-fashioned edifice that the people of Rio were proud of.
The hotel's always had a very, very strong identity with Copacabana as a whole, and also a very, very strong identity with Brazilian society, because it was the venue for so many important events, social events, wedding receptions, and so on and so forth. It figures, very much in the minds of Brazilians as being a very, very Brazilian hotel.
This elegant property represents a classic marriage of Latin and European styles, but it's the friendliness, sophistication, and service of its staff that ensures its status as one of the greatest hotels in the world.
Of course, the service and, of course, the celebrities, of course, are part of the hotel's history. It's a hotel that was built to be a palace. It was built to be a remarkable hotel. It was from its early days, that was the whole intention. And so the building itself, and of course its distinctiveness in terms of its architecture, it's a very, very strong physical presence. The building is immediately recognized by Cariocas as being one of the few buildings which are really remarkable, and a very, very strong physical presence.
This landmark hotel draws in the rich and famous, like Ipanema draws Cariocas to the beach. A cluster of fans like these, awaiting a glimpse of R&B singer Mariah Carey, is a regular occasion to behold. The kitchen plays a role in the success of every hotel. The Cipriani restaurant is no exception.
Il successo del ristorante è venuto con fare dei piatti semplici, sopravvalendo il prodotto, facendo esaltare il prodotto nei piatti, non coprendoli con molte salse, che è tipico della cucina veneziana e della cucina mediterranea, quindi usando erbe, e il primo attore nel piatto era proprio l'ingrediente principale.
Rio has seen troubled times in the past, but the hotel's guests just keep coming back, sending a clear endorsement to the management and its staff.
My proudest moment is probably having guests tell us, as they do time and time again, that they are yes, very impressed by the installations, very impressed by the comfort of the hotel. But what really most impresses them is the service and the people who deliver that service. And that is when I really feel that I've done a reasonable job, because it's the staff, it's our team that really provides the icing on the cake to the Copacabana experience.
It's not just fine dining with hushed conversations and a distant piano. This is the new Bar de Copa, the #1 spot in town. And now, for a different type of wildlife. Goodbye Rio, hello Iguazu. We have flown south to the border of Brazil and Argentina in search of adventure, world-class style. This national park alone boasts some 66,000 hectares of subtropical rainforest and offers nature treks for wildlife seekers by jeep, horseback, and on foot. There are more than 400 species of birds here, which is very impressive. But it's the raging rivers and torrents of the waterfalls that most people come to visit, and they do so in as many ways as possible. By helicopter, by abseiling, and by very powerful speedboats. These 300 horsepower ribs are the perfect tool for getting up close and personal to one of Mother Nature's biggest power plants. The eyeball-shaking, knuckle-biting ride is not for the faint-hearted, nor for those with a fear of water. These brave souls on board are speeding towards 400,000 gallons of water per second, thundering down a drop of 269 feet. Whew, it seems that the captain has decided that this view is close enough. But hey, that wouldn't be any fun. So it's throttles on and in for the shower of a lifetime. Hold your breath. At 5,249 feet, Victoria Falls in South Africa takes the record for the largest single curtain of water. But here at Iguazu, there are 275 falls across a distance of 1.6 miles, making them the widest waterfalls in the world. Daily, 1.3 million square feet of water pour endlessly, creating a constant roar that can be heard for miles. But that's enough demographics. Let's take to the air and check out where the world-class team has chosen to stay. Is it possible to find a luxury hotel in a subtropical rainforest? You're looking down at the Hotel das Cataratas, an oasis of luxury that's perched within 400 feet of the best view of the falls. Built in colonial style, the hotel has just been completely renovated and has the most spectacular views from its rooms. It's the only hotel within the national park, allowing guests to enjoy exclusive access to the falls each morning before the park opens at 9 a.m. and after 5 p.m. The general manager, Celso Valle, knows this is a unique position to be in, quite literally.
It's a privilege to be here in front of the falls. We have by now 9 times the regular volume of the water, something very, very special. We are talking about 10,000 cubic meters per second. It's unbelievable, it's unbelievable. From your room, you can take a nap at afternoon or sleep at night, just listen to the roar. It's something really, really special.
The noise of the falls is somehow comforting, never stopping, always there. It's humbling and puts the world back into perspective. How small we humans are against the relentless power of Mother Nature.
Falls are lovely. It has some very, very power energy. It's like recharging your batteries. This river, Iguazu River, it's right in the border of Brazil and Argentina. It goes all the way down about 15 or 16 kilometers to meet the Paraná River in the Brazilian and Paraguayan border. This area here, especially here, if we could cross the river, it would be about 500 yards away from Argentina. So you can easily see the other country from here. Most of the falls are in Argentinian side, but the only way to see it is from Brazil. So this is, I have no doubt, this is the best.
The name Iguazu originates from the Guarani language and means big water, which is something of an understatement. When viewed from the air, big just doesn't come into the equation. From here, it's simply awesome. There are 19 big waterfalls, the biggest of which is the Devil's Throat, which measures over 90 meters high and generates a rainbow from its plume that can be seen by day and even by night under a full moon. The hotel is the perfect base to explore this region. It's hard to believe that such sanctuary could be created in an environment that could so easily be hostile. Inside, the rooms have been decorated in Portuguese style and feature paintings of local flora and fauna by the well-known Brazilian artist Ludmila de Montes. With a myriad of thrill-seeking activities to try in the park, this is a real chill zone.
People love the experience of being here. It's just, it looks like paradise. You have a chance to see a lot of different animals.
Like this odd-looking fella, an Azaras aguti, a small relative of the capybara.
We have several kinds of birds, different species here. It's about 300 or so. Also for butterflies, you have the puma, the jaguar, deers, lizards.
Better make that lizards of all sizes. But the guys who really steal the show in the gardens are these incredible birds. At first glance, from behind, this could be any blackbird or crow. But wait for that profile shot. Now you get the picture. With large, boldly colored bills that give them a distinctly out-of-balance appearance. These are, of course, toucans. It's almost a marvel they can fly, but actually, and thankfully for these comical birds, their bills are much lighter in weight than they appear, because the inside is mostly hollow. Toucans get their name from tucano, given to them by the Tupi Indians of Brazil, and there are around 42 different species of them. While out and about, you will easily spot 2 or 3 varieties in the trees of Iguazu. But if you prefer cheating with your bird spotting, then help is at hand in the Parque das Aves, where you get to see some amazing tropical birds up close. Here, roseate spoonbills waddle with scarlet ibis, while macaws watch with interest. But once again, stealing the show are our friends, the toucans. Is that close enough for you?
They are very funny, they are very curious, they used to be very near people, and because they are interested in colors, and if you have a ring or if you have something in your hair, they're always looking and they're always near people to see what happened and what they're doing. Especially when you have a camera to take pictures, they're always some metal and that shines and they want to see what happened.
This fella is the toko toucan, the largest and arguably the best known species in the toucan family. Inside his bill, his tongue is almost as long and totally flat. He appears to have big blue eyes, but actually, look closer. It's just a thin line of blue skin. How about that? Mother Nature's own eyeliner. Talking of nature, it's a jungle out there, and one to be explored. Let's move away from cages and aviaries and discover the secrets that hide under the canopy of this lush environment.
We are in a subtropical rainforest. We have 185,000 hectares of this forest. Is one of the last remainder of subtropical rainforest that we have in the world. The subtropical rainforest, here for example, the canopy is not so dense, so thick like in Amazon one. So what happened is the light can pass through the canopy and touch the soil. So that's why we have a different strata of vegetation here. We used to say it's so much easier you walk through Amazon jungle than here, because there the canopy is really, really thick. It's like a carpet, yes, and so it's really hard for the light to pass through it. But here not, here is totally different. Here, for example, is one of the last habitat for animals like pumas, jaguars, ocelots, for example, margai cat. So we have here more than 85 different kinds of mammals.
Now, who's that hanging around?
This is the capuchin monkey. We have two species of monkey in the park. We have the capuchin and the howler monkey, but this one is really hard to see. They live in groups, like 20 to 30 of them. We have a leader, and they spend 70% of their life in the trees. They are one of the most intelligent monkey in America because they can take stones to break nuts, and also they can take like a branch to get in honey. So they're really clever.
Their name, Capuchin, derives from a group of friars named the Order of Friars Minor Capuchin, who wore brown robes with large hoods covering their heads. So the explorers who first discovered this monkey thought they looked like, well, monks. Uh-oh, surely that is one leap too far.
Let's try. I saw many times they jumped, but I never saw like this. They're amazing.
Well, thankfully, the little fellow made it and lives to tell his tale of human spotting another day. Which brings us neatly to the close of another day in paradise. Torches are lit. And the barbecue, known as churrasco, a big tradition in Brazil, is well underway. In the Twilight Gardens, the setting sun is masked behind the hotel, but a fiery golden glaze seen through the windows gives a clue that Mother Nature is working a new wonder across the mighty falls, who just never stop roaring. Incredible, awesome, or just big water. Let's just settle for Iguazu for now. Sadly, that's all we have time for. So it's goodbye from Brazil, from the world-class team.